Gardner out to tackle. I thought he played outstanding in the game. And we're still trying to shore up our interior and some other parts of our offensive line, looking at some different combinations there. I think on the most part, our quarterback is growing. He's throwing for 70%, made some better decisions. We still got to do a better job of taking care of the ball in the pocket. And, he had one turnover, which was on a fourth down, which was deep in their territory. He just left the ball inside. But, I'm really encouraged by his understanding. And so we got to build on the positives. We just finished the first quarter of our season, and obviously we found out a lot about our team, that we have a lot of work to do. And much of that is in preparation and execution on the field. We're not getting the execution that we're getting in practice on game day. And so we're going to continue to push for that. And it just seems to happen over time. And, we need a breakthrough and some positive things to happen. But we're encouraged that we're seeing signs of that. The ball control of the game was better. Our runs and completions, we had more runs and completions than our opponent, and that's always an indicator that you're starting to take control of certain parts of the game. So, we have to take those bright spots and we have to build on them. Excited to come back home. It's Ag weekend. We're excited about it. And we're playing a really good football team. Our 4 non-conference teams that we played are all bowl teams. They're all teams that have been used to winning. And, and we have another challenge in front of us. This Sacramento State team won their conference last year. They're really playing at a high level. Their coaches, they're very well coached, and they're playing at a high rate right now. They're 2-0. Really big factor is their turnover ratio. They're +6. And right now we're -4, and we're working really hard to get on the plus ledger of that. Sac State beat Northern Iowa last week, which is a good program. And they're a spread offense. They play 2 different quarterbacks, but they're led by Jack Dunaway. Excellent quarterback, and he's executing the offense at a high level. Their running back, Cameron Skatebo, really good football player. They do a good job of running the football. They're very balanced, and we're going to have a big challenge against us in the running game to stop that. And their tight end, number 16, Martin, really a good player, very active in their pass game, so we're going to have to do a good job of controlling him. Their defense has done a nice job. They're a 4-2-5 defense. Ariel Nagata, their defensive end, 34, is probably their best defensive player. Really pressures the quarterback. Marte Mapuni, their linebacker, super active, had 12 tackles, 2 interceptions. And number 46, their defensive end, 6'1", 250, really another active guy in the pass rush. All in all, this is a good football team. We have a lot of respect for Sacramento State, and we're excited about the challenge, being able to come back home and canvas on Ag Day and really get this second quarter of the season off and try to correct some of the errors that we've had and really start playing more positive football.
Jay, you've been in the game a long time. Can you remember back in the day when you saw an FCS team on your schedule and you're thinking, okay, easy win? When did that start to change, and how much have you seen FCS grow to?
Yeah, there's a lot of good football teams out there, and a lot of at the FCS level. And this is a team that went undefeated in their conference last year. We know Coach Thomas. They've been building that program. He used to coach at Folsom High School. We still recruit that high school in Northern California. Really quality coaches, and they do a great job of teaching. And their team has responded. They're in year 4, and they built their culture, and they're playing well. And so much of our issues have been mental. And sometimes when you're changing a system, your production has to go down before it can go up. And execution is a thing that starts to click as you get more reps. And so we're seeing signs of that. I mean, started seeing some things in the passing game start to click. Justice Ross Simmons got a chance to play a little bit. We want to play more of our young receivers. And so that's really an exciting thing. I do want to mention this. I almost forgot. As we move along, I don't know why it is this way. When you start a new program, you preach a message, you have expectations, the team has goals that everybody has to accept. Some guys accept those, some guys don't. We have a good player. We have had a couple good players the last couple of weeks that have decided not to play anymore. We had another one yesterday. I had a long talk with Melquan Stovall. I've known Melquan a long time. In this day and age of college football, these kids have so many choices. They have a short time to play. They want to be in a certain situation to play. It wasn't quite what Melquan was looking for. He's got 2 more years eligibility. He wants to take this year off, and he wants to take his chances playing in another program. And so, that's what we're dealing with college football right now, with guys having a chance to graduate, transfer portal, all these different options that they have. It's a fluid situation. And so, we are really dedicated to teaching our brand of football to this team. And they're going to continue to get better at it as we go. And the guys that stay committed to that will flourish and will be successful. And some guys will make other decisions and they won't be part of it. And that's just the way it's always been. And so we understand that. But I did want to make that announcement about Melquan. And so, it'll give our young receivers more opportunity to play, which I think will be really good for our growth.
You mentioned Clay off the bat. One thing you couldn't have known about him before you put him in the lineup is how tough he is. He's taken a lot of hits. Has he shown you like a physical and a mental toughness?
There's no question. I think, after the game, I went over and gave his mom a hug, and I just told her we're really not trying to get him hit like that. But he has shown toughness, and he has gotten up at times where I didn't think he would, and I think it's going to serve him well. I mean, we're going through the fire right now, and that you learn probably more from your mistakes and failures than you do from successes. And a good friend of mine told me this morning, it's the storm that makes the sailor. And so, we have to take these shots, and we have to learn from them, and we have to get better, and that's got to make our mettle tougher as a team. And I told our team, we're really not a team until we go through some tough times together, and really have to learn how to pick each other up. We're really not a team. And so, we're taking these experiences, and we're allowing them to fortify us and make us stronger. And we're learning from them, and we're going to build on the things that we've done positively.
You've talked about kind of the confidence of the team. Do you think some of that is playing into the slow starts of, they almost kind of wading into a game lightly?
Our issues are mostly mental, and that comes from preparation, and that comes from letting go of negativity and really focusing on the opportunity that you have and making the most out of it. And there's a lot of negativity out there, and as much as I try to tell these 18-year-old kids not to listen to it and not to look at social media and all those different things, it's difficult for those guys. It's not difficult for me because I don't ever look at it, but it's difficult for these young kids who live with a phone in their hand. And so, what you take into your brain becomes a part of your daily thought process, and you got to really be careful of what you put in your brain. And so we talked a lot about it. We have an upbeat atmosphere here in our building. We talked today, don't bring that negativity around me, whatever it is. And because we got big things to do, and to do big things, you need energy, and you can't let negative talk and let negative thoughts bring you down. So we got to start better. But that comes from the mental preparation of guys getting ready to play. And we got to do a better job. 48 hours before the game, as you start thinking about how you want to play, you really have to cement and make a decision to do certain things as a player. And, we've talked an awful lot about that.
And then you mentioned the young receivers. Obviously, we saw more adjustments this week. How much have you seen those guys grow and develop over the first month or so?
They get better every day, and I tell those kids, I said, you're going to be better a month from now than you are today. And they've got training camp in. They're halfway through the month of September, and they're different players. They've gotten a lot of repetition. We have amazing work against the defense. On Mondays, we go 2-minute drill, and we take our analytics and we take different situations that happened in college football this weekend. So today we had a special situation, and it was an amazing learning experience for all those kids. And, we're getting Lewis Brown in there, Mekhi Fox. Those guys are rotating, and they're good football players. The kids got size and speed, and they're the kind of guys we look for. And so they're getting more involved in the game plan. Clay's getting more comfortable every day that he's out there as a young guy, and we're building on that. And we're building deep roots right now. And I told them, I used to go to the forests in northern Colorado, and they had those big redwoods, and those, when you have a big tree, you have deep roots, and that's what we're doing right now. We're building the foundation of understanding. We're building expectations of behavior that are going to last us for a very long time. And so we can't cut corners on that. There's no quick fix. And, we got to continue to build on the positives that we have. And there's glimmers of those things here and there, and we got to take those and build on them until, we get a breakthrough.
You mentioned there's some things that you're seeing in practice that aren't transmitting over to the game. How do you kind of adjust to that? How do you fix that? Or is it just like you suggested, maybe time?
We keep pounding it, and we show the players where we worked on things so many times. We probably had the simplest game plan we've had in years last weekend. And we practice these things over and over and over and over again. And then we get in the game, and the first 3 series of the game, both sides of the ball, there were errors that we did in practice over and over and over again. And so there's a mental disconnect when you can't do the things in practice that in the game that we do over and over again. That's all we ask them to do. Then you're thinking about things besides playing, and you're letting outside influences affect your thought process. And those are things that we talk all the time about, and we try to keep things simple for our guys. I mean, we try to have a simple plan, simple concepts that they can execute, and on a game day, we certainly don't want to fool them. And so, we try to make them accountable for that. And so, we have to do a better job. And we got some demons that we're trying to exercise from this locker room, and it doesn't just happen in one day. And so we're working on that. But I think as we get more guys playing hard, I can't tell you how proud I am of Mo Camara. He's one of the hardest working guys on our team. Jacob Gardner. Those kids, are going to start rubbing off on the rest of our guys. And these younger players got to see how they work and try to emulate the things that they do.
Defensively, the one thing that Washington State hit you with was more explosive plays that leaves early on. How do you go about adjusting to, because that's one thing you don't want as a defense?
It's about details. We had some alignment errors that allowed some of those big plays. They made a couple good calls, but also we didn't adjust very well. And those are things that we talked about. We alerted our guys to simple technique in cover 3. The screen and go was a play that should not have been a play. And a couple of the big seam passes were just simple alignment errors where guys are supposed to have inside alignment. We align outside, a guy beats them inside, and really gives a lot of green grass up. So those are correctable. The turnovers that we had on offense are correctable. Making a protection call, keeping 2 hands on the pocket. Coach Mummy is beating Clay with a bag every day. But those are things that, you know, have to become natural, you know. One turnover in the pocket with a quarterback is one too many on a season. That's just, and so he's got to learn that. Young players got to learn those basic details about playing, and you know, those are the things that are the difference between winning and losing. And so we tried to emphasize with this team the importance of detail. And once they start to learn that, then it becomes habit, and that's what we're pushing for. Thanks, guys.
See you, bud.
Hey.